extraordinary hope. These are two words I can't help but feel when I think and reflect on Palm Sunday this year. There is something so ordinary about the Palm Sunday story, but yet it is so extraordinary. It marks the beginning for us of Holy Week, and this year is going to be anything other than an ordinary Holy Week. We are not able to gather in our buildings as we would normally do. But I think at times when we are out of our ordinary routines and out of our ordinary comfort zones, then by default these are extraordinary times. And in extraordinary times, the things that we once thought of ordinary become anything but. And I think this Palm Sunday story has a lot to speak about in that. I think as we are broke from our normal routines, this year we have an opportunity to step right into the Palm Sunday story. Because the Palm Sunday story is about a procession by Jesus to Jerusalem. A procession he made on an ordinary donkey. A procession he made with ordinary people lining the streets shouting Hosanna. And lining the streets is something that for once would have felt for us really extraordinary. And yet have we not, these last couple of weeks on Thursday evenings at 8 p.m, all come together to line our streets, to clap and show our deepest appreciation for those people working on the front line to keep us safe during this time. We have been clapping and shouting for the people we may have once thought ordinary, but now are showing themselves that they were always anything but. And when I came out on Thursday, I felt lots of things. I felt really part of something. I felt part of the world, that something that all of humanity are facing at the moment. I felt part of this country as we clap and cheered and set fireworks off to show our love and gratitude for those working out there. I felt part of my street because, to be honest, I've been here over 6 years and I've not waved or said hi to half the neighbours that I did on Thursday night. In the extraordinary times, it gives us an opportunity for connection in a way like no other. And while, yes, we feel like we're missing out, and we are missing out on time with our family, time doing our jobs, or even perhaps we have lost our jobs during this time. But it shows us the power of the ordinary people that lined Jesus's route to Jerusalem. And I always love to imagine the people on the route who he had helped or healed on his journey on the way. To perhaps imagine the faces of the Syrophoenician woman in the crowd, the bleeding woman, of Lazarus, all lining to shout Hosanna at a man they knew was anything but ordinary. And I wonder how Jesus felt on that route. How Jesus felt with all these people clapping and laying their cloaks down and shouting Son of God and King of Kings and Hosanna to him. I bet Jesus looked out and realised the extraordinariness of those people in the crowd. Those people who recognised him for who he was and the journey that he was making, a journey of love, of sacrifice, of life, of hope, a journey that takes us into Holy Week as we begin to look more in depth at what happened to Jesus that week. In these extraordinary times, we perhaps are gifted opportunities as we go about this Holy Week to make these things real in our lives, to realise what is extraordinary, what the ordinary things we have taken for granted, perhaps love, perhaps friendship, family, all these things that now we are maybe without them, we realise they are the extraordinary things of love, the extraordinary things of hope, a hope that helps us see into Palm Sunday this year, to feel what it must have been like in that crowd, to have seen Jesus, the extraordinary in the ordinary human man. May, as we go through this Holy Week, I pray that we see it as a gift to draw closer to God, as a gift of invite into these stories, to feel them in ways that we have not been able to feel them before, and to seek out hope because it's there. It's there in every single person that was clapping. It was there in every single person who we were clapping for. And I bet they thought how extraordinary it was for people to come out and clap, which makes us all extraordinary in the end. And I think that is something we all need to hear at the moment. You are extraordinary. God thinks you're extraordinary. Jesus would have taken that journey. Jesus would have looked you in the eyes had you been in that crowd. That is how extraordinary you are. So I pray and I leave you now with hopefully a new way of looking at Holy Week, a new way of being with it, and a heightened understanding of those things that once seemed ordinary, that now are the things that give us extraordinary hope.